Here's the brief news from the world over this week. Election day is just around the corner, and the race for the White House is ever tightening after another dramatic turn. FBI Director James Comey's bombshell announcement that the FBI is looking at newly revealed email evidence that could affect its investigation of the Clinton Foundation has put Democrat Hillary Clinton on the defensive. It also appears to have given some momentum to GOP candidate Donald Trump. As the candidates and their surrogates spend the final days of the campaign crisscrossing the map, most national polls have Clinton and Trump either tied or within their respective margins of error. Meanwhile, the reliably Democratic states of Colorado, Michigan, and Pennsylvania now appear to be in play. And Fox News' Bret Baier is reporting that an FBI investigation into the Clinton Foundation has been going on for more than a year and has now taken a very high priority within the Bureau. Sources with knowledge of the probe say the FBI has interviewed multiple parties looking into a possible pay-for-play scheme involving then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. The FBI's white-collar crime division is handling the investigation. Fox News sources say a great deal of evidence has been collected before the WikiLeaks dumps of alleged emails linked to the Clinton campaign, and that there is, quote, an avalanche of new information coming in every day. And two earthquakes hit central Italy this week. The 6.6 magnitude quake that struck on Sunday was the country's most powerful in 36 years. Two historic churches were destroyed in the town of Núrsia, just 6 miles from the quake's epicenter. Among the buildings leveled were the 14th century Basilica of St. Benedict, the birthplace of St. Benedict and his twin sister, St. Scholastica, and the Cathedral of St. Mary Argentea. Damage was reported as far away as Rome's Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls. Thankfully, no deaths have been reported from Sunday's quake or Thursday morning's aftershock. However, 22,000 people have been left homeless. That's on top of the 2,000 already displaced from the August quake. The Benedictine monks of Núrsia, who have been featured on the show, released a statement. They are all fine and safe and attending to those in need. They are, however, asking for donations to rebuild the Basilica of St. Benedict. To help, you can go to nursia.org, Nursia.org. Our prayers are with them and all of those affected by these terrible earthquakes. And the Vatican and the government of Communist China may be near an agreement on the appointment of bishops. According to the Wall Street Journal, negotiations may have given way to a compromise in which the Vatican would recognize 8 bishops already installed by Beijing without the Holy See's approval. In return, the Vatican would appoint future bishops from lists of candidates submitted by Communist Chinese authorities. Acceptance of this deal would be a major concession by Pope Francis and the Holy See, since 3 of the 8 unapproved bishops have been explicitly excommunicated. The tentative agreement does not address or resolve questions regarding the status of underground Catholic bishops, many of whom have been subject to harassment and arrest. And Donald Trump, back in the United States, is seeing an increase in support among Catholics. Investor's Business Daily polling shows a 13-point lead among Catholic voters for Trump over his Democratic rival Hillary Clinton. The Trump campaign is making a big push to the faith-based community, like this message directed specifically at Catholics. This is a World Over exclusive.
Catholics are an important part of the American story. America has been strengthened by hardworking Catholics. From New York to California, the Catholic story is truly unique, and it's a great story. From marching for civil rights to educating millions of children, serving the poor, and helping define the pro-life movement, clergy and lay Catholics across the country have made countless contributions to the American success and the American success story. Washington politicians have been hostile to the church. They have been hostile to Catholics. They have been hostile to the members of Catholicism. My administration will stand side by side with the American Catholics to promote the values we all share as Christians and Americans. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. We will make America great again.
And back in Rome, the reforms of Pope Francis continue. In yet another shakeup of Vatican personnel, the Pope took the unusual step of replacing all of the members of the Congregation for Divine Worship and the Sacraments, save for its prefect. The powerful congregation is charged with governing the Catholic liturgy. Among the 27 new appointees are Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin and Archbishop Piero Marini, the former papal master of ceremonies under John Paul II, who incidentally suffered a stroke this week. The lone American named to the congregation was New Jersey Bishop Arthur Serratelli, who chairs the U.S. Bishops' Committee on the Liturgy. Pope Francis removed several well-known traditional prelates, including Cardinals Raymond Burke, George Pell, and Mark Willett. Some have speculated that the new appointments are a repudiation of the work of the congregation's prefect, African Cardinal Robert Sarah, who has been a vocal advocate of a more reverent Catholic liturgy. And the saga over the final resting place of Archbishop Fulton Sheen continues. Lawyers for the Sheen family asked a Manhattan judge to order the Archdiocese of New York to allow Sheen's remains to be moved from St. Patrick's Cathedral to Peoria, Illinois, so Sheen's process of sainthood can continue. The Vatican has indicated that it's willing to begin the process of beatification, but the body must reside in the diocese that made the application for sainthood, Peoria. Sheen's remains are currently in the crypt of New York St. Patrick's Cathedral. New York state law forbids the disinterment of a body if the deceased indicated where they wish to be buried, barring some unusual circumstance. Sheen actually wanted to be buried at a priest cemetery in Queens. He ended up interred in the cathedral's crypt after Cardinal Terence Cook convinced his executor to allow the move. Now his executor, Sheen's niece, Joan Cunningham, said after this week's hearing her uncle would not be pleased about the court battle over his remains. But he might not be surprised, given the clashes he had with the Archdiocese of New York in his lifetime. A ruling on this case is forthcoming, and we'll keep you posted. For the first time in at least 500 years, archaeologists opened the tomb of Jesus Christ in the Holy Land. The unveiling was part of a $4 million effort to restore the Edicule, a structure within Jerusalem's Church of the Holy Sepulchre that houses the burial chamber. After some initial inspections, researchers feared that only fill material lay beneath the marble covering the burial bed. But they were amazed to find the original limestone cave walls intact. The restoration also turned a cross-engraved marble slab believed to date back to the Crusades. Researchers hope that analysis of graffiti carvings may help date previous excavations. The current edicule was constructed around 1810 and has drawn a steady stream of pilgrims for many, many years.